Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Menhera Monday with your host, Exhibit A. Now, this week we asked the question, what time period would you travel to? It wasn't in those exact words, it was something like that. But, yeah, we're gonna be looking at some of your answers, seeing what we're doing. You know, I've always wished that I could be like a time traveler. I feel like that would be like one of the ultimate fantasies, to be a time traveler. If I wanted some kind of special power or special thing. Because, if you're a time traveler, there's so many different choices. It's like so many different places you can go. And there's so many points in history that, you'll be the only one from your time period who will ever get to see that. Like, it's different. If you're just hearing stuff in history books about stuff that happened, it's like, it doesn't really feel real. But if you could actually go there and see how they lived, see how it was like back then, I think that would be way cooler. Like, I would love getting to, like, experience those points in time that I'm used to just hearing about. And actually being there, actually feeling the air and seeing how people were like, what it's like to talk to them. It would give you a lot bigger perspective on life in general because, yeah, you'd get to compare to the present day and stuff, and it would help you in the present day too as well because you get a better perspective on things. They say those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it, but you would know history better than anyone if you were a time traveler because you'd know what it was actually like. And you could just go on so many awesome adventures, so many journeys. Be non-stop thrills, basically. A real adventurous life. My theory on messing up timelines is that if you change the past, you can only return to the universe where those changes were. Multiverse theory. Yeah, that is what a lot of people... Personally, I think... I can't really comment on whether it's a likely theory. I do think it's a boring one, though, for, like, fiction. I dislike when they do that. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me make sure you're understanding. So, I'm assuming you're meaning that it creates, like, an alternate universe, right? And then the universe you came from still exists. I don't think that... I don't know. I prefer it to be, like, the same timeline. Like, I know Marvel does it that way, and I find that boring because they don't actually change the past, they just create new universes, and so it's like, none of the changing the past kind of stuff really happens, because it's a different universe, and so they only go back in time in order to, like, obtain things from the past, or, like, things like that, and that's just not as interesting to me at all. My theory on how time travel works is that you can't change the past. So logically, I don't see why you would be able to, because time is... you can't... there's no reason why you would be able to change the past, I think if you go back in time and you do a certain thing, then it's the case that always happened. So, you go back in time, and you freaking shoot a guy, well, that guy was always gonna get shot. Or if you go back in time and try to stop something from happening, something will probably stop you from... it'll stop you from doing that in some way. That's what I think. I'm not against the multiverse theory, I just dislike the idea that what is it? That time travel just creates, or just takes you to an alternate universe instead of changing your actual past. But I also like the idea of it, like, not changing the past at all, and then that way it's, like, complicated as well, because then if you go back in time and try to change something, well, actually, you always did it. We're gonna get some extra music now that one's ended. Let's do more Animal Crossing, I guess. Yeah. How do I get this quiet enough? That's way too loud. What if I do this? A little more. I know you guys can't hear it yet, but I'm trying not to blow your ears off. Okay, that should be good. Alright, and I'm going to turn it on. Alright, let's go back to the beginning of that music. I'm going to assume that sounds fine. I hope it does. My life's on fire, but Discord is a lifesaver, and Menhera Mondays give me a reason to not dread Mondays. That's awesome. It's cool that, like, my streams make that much of a difference, because, like, I don't always feel like I'm doing anything super impressive. But if you guys think that my streams are that entertaining, then that makes me feel good about myself. Yeah, the change would scoot you to another universe. Yeah, I don't like that. It's like, that's not real time travel then. You're just going to another universe. Going to another universe isn't time travel. That's literally not time travel. You're just, you know, it's not... An alternate universe is an alternate universe. It's just that in that universe, it's a different time period. That's not real time travel. I'm not into it. I don't see how you would change the past if you went back in time. The way time works, there's no logical reason why it would change. So I think if you go back in time, you were always supposed to go back in time, in a way, you know? And your past self was already there from the start. But anyway, let's start reading the answers. I don't want people to get too bored. Alright. Here's the first answer. What time period would you travel to? Cock and Boobies. Written by Truck-kun. You can't keep doing this. Every time. Every time. Can't keep doing this to us. Next one. We're not paying this any mind. Not paying this any mind. By the way, if you guys haven't written your answer yet, please do. I actually don't have that many answers this week. What time period would you travel to? Probably nowhere. And if you did, you'd change a piece of the past you shouldn't change, or there would be consequences. What happened, happened. We learn from our history, and we move on to create a better, peaceful present and future. And this one was written by Tess. So, I get where you're coming from with this. Because it's true that even the slightest change to the past could make a lot of issues. And actually, a lot of people, I think, underestimate the butterfly effect. I think that if you went back in time, and even if you did, like, you didn't do very much, you would probably create a lot of problems. You'd go back to the present, and everything would just be drastically different, I think. Even if you only did, like, a little bit. So you could go back in time, and then you literally just, like, walk around and, like, talk to one person. I think if you did that and you went back to the present, like, a lot of things might be different. Because if you think about how you live your life, and how you got to where you are now, like, even the slightest thing that happens in your life changes your decisions. So, like, oh, maybe you... maybe the reason why you watched a certain movie today is because you saw, like, a little thing happen when you were at work. But then if that thing didn't happen at work, then you wouldn't have watched that film. But then maybe you watching that film made you feel a certain way, and it made you do something else, and then that made you do something else, and then that made you do something else. If you take out any part of that process, now suddenly everything that you're doing is different, and your life can completely change trajectory. There's certain people that I've met, and that I'm good friends with now, that I would have never met them if I had made my decisions even slightly differently. You know? And there's people who have discovered my streams who would never have discovered my streams if I hadn't done that exact stream. You know, so And, you know, I have a lot of friends who are, you know, very good friends, and they're important parts of my life. And it's weird to think about the fact that I would have never met them if I had made my decisions even slightly different. Like if I had not gone to a certain event that I wasn't sure about, or if I had done a certain thing on like a different day. But yeah, it's weird to think about. Wait, 1 second. I need to check something. I'm hearing something. Sorry, just my neighbors are shouting. I was hoping it wasn't because of me or some crap. I think they're just arguing. Alright, so. Anyway. As I was saying, yeah, so with that in mind, with how easy it is to change how my life would be so different if I'd made slightly different decisions, how there's certain people I wouldn't even be friends with if I'd just been slightly different. It's like, if you go back in time, and you change even the slightest thing, now suddenly there's a whole bunch of people who would have met, became friends, became lovers, done whatever. Now they haven't met, because you interfered with their life, and maybe they were like slightly later to an event than they would have been, or they made a slightly different decision on something, and that completely changes the people that they meet throughout their life, and that changes the people who are, even changes the people who are born, because now you've got people who would have gotten married and had kids who are now never met, and you've got people who would have maybe had the inspiration to make certain kinds of inventions, and now they never will do that. You change the slightest thing, everything changes. It's all different. So that's why I think that Tess's answer is a pretty good answer, in a way. I think it's a wise answer. But I also like the idea of time traveling. I might take the risk. I don't know. I would probably test things. Here's what I would do. I would test things if I ever got access to a time machine. What I would do is I would maybe go like... I'd start with only going into like the slight past, so like 10 minutes in the past or an hour in the past, and I would test things out to find out what the rules of time travel are. And if the rules of time travel are that actually you can't change the past and everything is like, it's like predetermined, then that would be fine and it would be safe for me to go wherever I want. But if I do that testing and it turns out that you can't, that it actually does change things and it changes things drastically, then I'll be more careful, and I'll do testing to make sure I know beforehand what the rules of time travel are before I do anything that's actually going to change, like, long periods of time, or make, like, big, or will change the circumstances of my current life, if that makes sense. And so I would make that my decision based on what the rules of time travel are, because if the rules of time travel are that you can't change the past, then I can do whatever I want. If they do change the past, I need to figure out how much it changes the past. Like, will it really be so drastic as what I've just explained? Will making small changes in the past drastically change the future? So I'd start out going only a little bit into the past, and then I'd go further and further back each time. And then... so I'd work my way to it. And so if I eventually get to a point where I'm realizing it makes big changes, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll just stop there. You know? So that's what I'd do. Your Flash game stream was the best one. That was the first one you were at. That's the one where you... yeah. That's exactly right, Tedia. You would have never become part of this community if I'd never done that Flash game stream. So my point is very much correct. Yeah, exactly. If you'd never found my streams toy, you would have never met any of those people. It's like, if events had been slightly different, you wouldn't have encountered any of this, so... it actually is scary to think about. It's a weird thought that I have sometimes, where I'm like, I'm almost afraid that a time traveler is going to go into the past and do some fucky-wucky, and then I suddenly won't have any of my current friends anymore. That is something that I sort of think about. It's like, it wouldn't necessarily take a lot to erase all of that. I think I would only go far into the past if I know that it won't make big changes. So I'd experiment with going into, like, the not-so-distant past. And then even if I can change the past, I'd try to see how much things change. Because there's some time travel fiction where making changes in the past doesn't actually change things that strongly. Not necessarily. And something like Steins Gate, for example, the way the timelines work is that they sort of have, they kind of correct themselves sometimes. So even if you go back in time and make a certain change, the timeline can kind of correct itself sometimes if your change wasn't that big. And then to really put yourself on a different world line entirely, you kind of need to make a really big change for the universe to recognize it and, like, keep it. So if it worked like that, then that would also be okay. And I could still go back in time and, you know... But, again, I'd need to get a feel for it. Butterfly Effect was a great movie. I haven't watched that. Is it good? I should watch more time travel movies, because I've really enjoyed the time travel movies that I've watched so far. Like, you know, Back to the Future, and I was a huge fan of Steins Gate whenever I first watched that. It was my best experience with anime. It put me through all sorts of, like, emotions, and just felt like a real journey, you know? I long for that kind of experience from anime again, because I used to have experiences like that with anime all the time, but nowadays, nothing really compares. Now, I was younger back then, it was a simpler time. My brain was a little less broken. I long to experience an anime in that kind of way again, and enjoy something that much again, because I haven't been able to for so many years. Steins Gate lacks the only good timeline where Maho is my wife. Frick, which one's Maho again? I spent long. Oh, okay, Maho. That's Maho. Okay. Oh, she's in Steins Gate 0. Okay, okay. That's why I didn't quite remember. I've not really watched all of Steins Gate 0. I watched like a few episodes a long while back. And I started reading the visual novel, but then I didn't finish that. I was gonna go with the visual novel because people complain about the anime not being good. But I didn't finish that. I don't know, I fell out of the mood for visual novels. I haven't read a visual novel in so long. Anime used to have more deep core? For me, it's not just that. I wouldn't say it's a matter of anime being shit now or anything. It was more... It was more to do with me. I was in a different state of mind. I have certain issues with myself now that I didn't have back then. And so I enjoyed anime a lot more back in those days. I enjoyed fiction a lot more, and I miss that a lot, and I hope that one day I can enjoy things like that again, because that would be awesome. There was really no feeling that compared to, like, binge watching a really good anime, because it does not hit the same anymore nowadays. I hope someday I can bring that back. That would be nice. But yeah, too bad we're not in the timeline where Maho is your wife. That'd be the best timeline. I love Tower of God, but it isn't as therapeutic as other animes. Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up with anime enough to know if, like, the quality of things have deteriorated. I know that there's some stuff coming out that people are like, you know, oh, this is the GOAT, this is so great, you know, people... things still come out that people call masterpieces. But I wouldn't be able to comment on it much, because my reason for liking anime less has nothing to do with anime itself being worse. It's just my ability to enjoy things has just gone down. And that applies to everything, not just anime. So, at the end of the day, yeah, there's still plenty of good stuff. But let's see. Alright, yeah, so it's wise to not make changes to the past. It's very wise. But I would test it. And honestly, even if I could be going to the past and make big changes, I'd be kind of tempted to try anyway, because, like, that's such an amazing power to waste. Like, how could you resist the urge to go back in medieval times, or go back to see a side of the world and a side of history that most people will never get to see? It'd be too tempting. But maybe I'd screw over everything. Maybe I'd erase all of my life. That'd really suck. I don't want to end up coming back to the present and then find that everything is gone. Now, here's one thing though. Some of you might be worried about me like creating like a paradox or something. If actually the past can't be changed, or like, well, you know, paradoxes. I don't believe in paradoxes. I don't believe that it's possible to create one. So, I wouldn't really be worrying about that. Like, what is a paradox? Paradox is just the word we use when there's something we can't explain. So we're like, oh, if you go back in time and you stop yourself from being born, oh, you'll create a paradox. They're just saying paradox because they don't know what happens. That doesn't actually mean anything. Like, what do they mean? That the universe will explode? Do they mean the freaking everything will freeze? Or, you know, they just say the word paradox. They're like, oh, it'll create a paradox. What does that mean? What does it mean to create a paradox? That doesn't make any sense. Paradox is just the word people use when they're like, they can't explain what would happen in that situation, like in terms of time travel. Like, there's a reason why movies never show. They say like freaking Dr. Brown from freaking Back to the Future is like, oh, you'll create a paradox if you do that. There's a reason why none of those movies show the paradox happen. It's because paradoxes aren't real. It's just a way. It's just a thing people say. You know? Like, it's just a thing people say. It's not like... The universe isn't like a computer program that is going to... Right, yeah, paradox is more conflicting things. I know, but I'm saying paradox in regards to time travel specifically. I don't think you could create a time paradox. The universe isn't a computer program. At least I don't think so. You know, if you make something contradict in the universe, it's not going to crash like it's a freaking... like it's a game or something. It's not going to like freeze up. The universe will keep on going. It'll keep working. We might not know how that like paradoxical situation will be resolved, but we do know it's not just going to freaking like crash the universe. Like, that's just not how reality works. Either the universe will like correct itself in some way and things will start to make sense again, or you won't be able to make that paradox happen in the first place. Something will stop you. You go back in time to kill your parents, someone stops you and it doesn't work. Or maybe you kill someone and it turns out it wasn't your parents and your real parents end up getting together. I wouldn't say I know for sure that time travel isn't real. We don't know that. I don't really know if it's something we'll ever... I mean, there's a good possibility we'll never create technology that can ever do that. That's just, it's pretty unlikely that we ever would. It's a pretty advanced concept. But I wonder if it's like theoretically possible. Like, you know, given an infinite number of years, would humanity ever develop something like that? There's a good chance that we would never, even if it is possible, that we'd never succeed in developing it before we go extinct, because it'd probably be very advanced technology. And there's people theorize that black holes take you to a different time as well. The universe is by definition a computer program, possibly extended to R instead of N, but still. I'm sorry, I do not know what that means. So I think there's any weight to the theory that the Mandela effect comes from universe cracking because Hadron Collider? Yeah, well, some people say that Mandela effect is alternate timelines, of course. From the universe cracking. I don't know what that means, universe cracking. But yeah, I mean, you know, they could be alternate universes or alternate timelines, something like that. Means it computes real number quantities instead of natural numbers. I see all your freaking computer science stuff's coming in here. I'm not an expert in those things. Remember hearing somewhere that if we develop something faster than light, we could travel back in time. That is another theory. Hadron Collider makes tiny black holes, basically. Yeah, I have heard about that. I think I probably learned about that from Steins Gate, actually. Yeah, alright, let's move on to the next answer. We've just been on the first one this whole time. Well, aside from cock and boobies, but we don't count that. But it's okay that we're moving along slowly, because we only got 8 responses, so we gotta drag it out a little bit. What time period would you travel to? After submitting my first answer, I thought about my dad. If I could go back to the years before my dad passed, warn him about the situation and health risk he's going to be in the future. I would hug him one more time before going back to the present time. But again, I can't change it, but I miss him dearly. This one was also written by Tess, so I think she might have changed her answer, or this might not necessarily be a change of answer, but like an additional answer or something she would maybe do if changing the past wouldn't cause problems, maybe. But yeah, I think a lot of people would love to go back and visit their, like, past loved ones and stuff. I don't really have anyone important to me who's, like, died yet. I've had, like, family members who have died that I haven't been that close with. But I would say I don't have a lot of connections to, like, extended family very much. The only 2 people who are in my family that I see very often are my parents. And the rest are, like, aunties and uncles and cousins that I don't see very often. So it doesn't affect me that much whenever they pass. But, you know, I think if the day came when my parents die, that would... maybe I'd experience that properly for the first time. Because it's not an experience I've actually had yet. You know? Because I'm not super close with a lot of my family. I barely know them. A lot of them are strangers. Some of them, quite a lot of them I haven't met before, actually. I have family members in America that I've never met. I don't live in America. And I've never visited there, so... never got the chance to see them. But yeah. I think a lot of people would want to see that. See their loved ones again. I mean, I'm lucky that no one important to me has died yet. I have people in my life that I'd be sad if they did die, but it just hasn't happened yet. Yeah, personally, I feel like I'm in a reincarnation cycle, so I just make plans to meet everyone again in the next life. That would be nice. You know, I kind of hope that there's an afterlife. Because I don't believe in one, because I don't think there's any, like, proof of it. But I wish that weren't the case, basically. Or I hope that I'm wrong. Because I would prefer to keep existing. At least if it's a positive afterlife, because I don't want to go to hell. That would suck. That would be worse. Suffering. For all of eternity. But yes, anyway. I used to like the idea of reincarnation too, but now I'm not so sure. Like, I used to love the idea of reincarnation and, like, hope that that was what happens after death. But the issue, though, is that I've kind of come to realize more, like, how bad the world is. And how terrible things are in different places, and how terrible things have been throughout history, too, and how bad they are now in different places. And, you know, I don't know if I like the idea of it anymore, because if I were reincarnated, I think I'd prefer it to just not existing. But I don't know if it's ideal, because what if I'm reincarnated as someone in really horrible circumstances, like someone in a war, someone who gets killed in some horrible way, someone in poverty. You know, I could get born as someone who freaking has their limbs all, like, ripped off, you know? Like, there's so many, if you look at history and you even look at things going on today, there's so many gruesome, horrible, horrific things that happen to people. Each time you're reincarnated, that increases the chances that something like that will happen to you. Because sooner or later, you're going to end up in a situation like that where you experience, like, horrible, horrible torture. Because that's what people go through in the real world. As bad as things might be for our, like, current lives, a lot of us might be lucky in the sense that we've been at least, like, born into some degree of, like, safety. As in, we're not literally born into, like, a war, or we're not, like, being executed or something. But I don't know. I think I'd still prefer reincarnation over not existing. And I do kind of like the idea of, like, getting to live life over and over, but I would want them to be good lives, not lives where I'm literally born into, like, fucking everyone's dying of some horrible disease and it's miserable. Ever listen to stories of near-death coming from the afterlife? I have heard about stuff like that, and I guess that is, like, the one and only thing that sort of is, like, maybe proof. The only issue is that it could be maybe explained by other things. Like, it could just be, like, a brain phenomenon. Of, like, after you die, it fills your brain with memories, or, like, and you come back. Yeah, like, if you when people temporarily die, they report seeing things. There could be, like, natural explanations for that. It could just be, like, they see what they believe they'll see. But at the same time, I have also heard, like, little stories of people experiencing things that can't be explained. So, like, whenever they were dead, they, like, saw things and received information that they should have had no way of knowing. Like, for example, or, like people even having, like, dreams about, like, a family member, and then their family member dies that same day. Or they go and they see, when they're dead, they see something happen, or they see someone doing something, and then they go back when they're alive again. They realize, well, that thing actually happened. So they literally have knowledge about something that they shouldn't have knowledge about. So that could be proof. But I don't know how true those stories are, because I just hear about it. I've never seen it. I've never been able to verify it. But it does give me a little bit of hope, I suppose. It does, a little bit, because those stories are quite interesting. But yeah, you say you've seen something that counts as proof. That's really interesting. Maybe you'll be able to talk about it in more detail someday. Some of those things could be coincidence? Yeah, that's the other thing, they could be. But that's just it. It's like, if you haven't experienced those things yourself, there's so many different excuses you can give as to why it's not real. You don't really know. The only way you know is if you experience it yourself. And even then, some people may think that they've experienced things that maybe they haven't. Or maybe there's other explanations that they're not considering. There's so many possibilities. So I would enjoy having, well, enjoy having an experience like that is maybe not the right word, because I don't know if I want to almost die. Because that could be bad. I might actually end up dying. But I would like to see proof of the afterlife. That would be nice. I would like it if it ends up being true. That'd be great. Also, sometimes things happen in my life that make me think there's some kind of, like, a higher power going on. Like, some things are just, like, too weird to be coincidences. But I don't know. Sometimes reality is stranger than fiction, you know? So I'd love to find proof of that stuff. It'd be great. It'd bring me some comfort. But unfortunately, right now, I do not know, and I do not have any proof of things like that. Alright. There's definitely more than we know of. Trying to understand the universe as a human is like trying to explain the internet to your cat. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, there's definitely more than we know of in the universe. I just don't know if specifically there is like a world beyond an afterlife or spirits. But it would be nice. So I'm hoping that's the case. But at the same time, I guess I am hoping for it, but I'm not sure if I should be, because maybe there's a bad afterlife too. It's like, most people believe there's a heaven and a hell, or things like that. Or even in reincarnation, maybe if you live too bad of a life, you'll go somewhere bad, or you'll be reincarnated to something bad. I don't know, I'm like, I don't want to end up going to hell, that'd be pretty bad. I don't want that. And, I don't know if I'm... I don't... Am I going to heaven, really? After everything I've done? After all the shit I've said? After all the things that are in my internet history? I don't know. I mean, it's probably better to have an afterlife than non-existence. I don't think for eternity. I think an eternity of suffering is probably the worst thing imaginable. Yeah, it's a shame they aren't here today. They might just be busy. Also, I've been streaming less, so people might be like not keeping up with the streams as much because I haven't been streaming as much. I help so many people? Really? You think so? I mean, all I do is stream. That's more of like... And I kind of do that for my own reasons. I have selfish reasons for doing that. I don't do this out of the goodness of my heart. I'm not thinking, ooh, how can I make people as happy as possible? I'm going to stream and make people happy. It's like, nah. I do this because I like it, I have my own reasons. It's not like an altruistic thing. It's not on vacation. Yeah, that's true. That'd be why she isn't around. There's one horrific afterlife theory I've seen where you're still conscious in your corpse and you feel your body decay until it turns to dust. Yeah, that is the very worst one, because I've seen like I've seen an SCP that's based off of that, and I've also just seen other like horror stories about that, I think. And that would be horrible. Like, it's just, hearing about stuff like that makes me actually not so afraid of dying for good. Because I would prefer that to that, so it actually makes me less afraid of there being no afterlife. So you're stuck in your corpse for all of eternity after you die, and you just can't move. You're just stuck there for billions of years as you're decaying, and you do decay, and then you're still there. That'd be horrible. What answer are we at now? Got to get my dog inside. We're only on question 3, but I'm trying to drag them out because there's not very many responses. But I already read... Oh, I just read your second one, Tess. You were talking about your dad and how you'd consider going back there as well. That SCP's where I heard it. Yeah, that would be really horrible. Why would it be horrible if that makes no sense? Well, see, here's the thing, Toy. On one hand, you can ask, why would it work like that? That just is horrible. Why it wouldn't make sense? But the other thing to consider is that there's already a lot of things in our world that don't make sense. There's already a lot of things in our world that just seem fucked up for no reason. So, for example, why is it that when babies are born, sometimes they die from horrible diseases when they haven't even lived very many days? Why is it that people live such horrible lives that they get, depressed and then they kill themselves because they can't bear to live any longer? Why do people get murdered and killed because of the way that they were born? Why do people starve to death? Why do all these things happen? These are all things that happen for no reason. Because it's easy to say, the world is a difficult place because difficulty makes us stronger. You know, a lot of people like to explain it and say, well, the reason why we suffer in life is because suffering makes us better. The world is a meaningful place because we have suffering. Otherwise, the world is meaningless. We need suffering so that happiness matters. And I think that that's a good point, because I agree with that. I think we do need suffering in order for happiness to matter. I think we do need difficulty in order to become better people and to appreciate the good things. But not that level of suffering. I think that if you live a normal life here in the first world, and you experience a bit of difficulty in your life, even a lot of difficulty, and it really brings you down, and then it makes you stronger and you become someone better, and it makes your life better, and you come out of it and you're like, I'm glad that I went through hardship because it made me better. I think that's good. I think that's a life well lived. But there are some people in this world where their suffering never benefits them. They're born, they suffer, and then they just die. And that, there's no reason for that. They're just born, they live a horrible life, nothing good ever happens to them, and then they die. There's people in this world who experience that. And there's some people in this world who experience suffering that is so indescribable, so unbearable, and it never has a good consequence for them, it just makes their life worse. And that, there's such a thing as meaningful suffering, and there's also such a thing as meaningless suffering. And that's why I can't follow the idea that everything just happens for a reason, because some things clearly just happen without a reason. So I'll address your responses now, because you're trying to... Because we have free will, but the free will of others still affects us as a whole. I'm saying suffering can be random, but I think there's a scale in both directions. So, what you're saying... I've considered what you're saying there. I've heard that response before. You're saying that suffering is possible because we have free will, and it's just a consequence of free will. For example, other people have the free will to do bad things, and so that means that they can harm us, and that our suffering can be because of what other people do. That's a fair point, only in relation to what humans do. But then consider that there's a lot of suffering that comes from... that doesn't have anything to do with free will. For example, people dying of diseases. Diseases are not the result of free will. Even without free will, diseases would exist. Diseases aren't because of humans, they're there. And they're in the world. Or, you know, volcanoes, natural disasters, earthquakes, those kill a lot of people. And that's not the result of humans. So I personally can't take that as, like, an explainable reason either. You know? And I've thought through these things quite a lot. There's also a lot of joy that has nothing to do with free will? Sure, but then there's no reason for the suffering that happens that isn't to do with free will, right? So then not everything happens for a reason. I mean, you're definitely entitled to your beliefs. I'm not gonna try to change your mind. It's fine if you think this way. And I think it probably makes you a lot happier too. I don't want to take that away from you. But what I'm saying is, I think it would be very difficult to persuade me to see it the way that you do. Because the way I see it, there's a lot of bad things that happen for no reason. Because there's a lot of suffering that happens that makes us stronger. And makes life better. There's also a lot of suffering that just happens. And then it doesn't cause anything good to happen. You know? If there's no such thing as suffering, would we even know a word for happiness? I mean, as I've said, you know, I think suffering is necessary to make happiness work. What I'm saying is that some people experience happiness or suffering that's so bad that it just goes beyond that. I think if I were creating a world, if I was trying to create the ideal world, I would have that world have suffering in it. Because I would need happiness to matter and to be something that exists. I don't think you can have happiness without suffering. but I wouldn't put as much suffering as we have in this world. It would be less. I would make it so that everyone experiences a bit of suffering in their life, maybe even like a moderate amount. But I wouldn't have people literally dying of like worms eating out their eyes, you know? I wouldn't have people just suffering for no reason and then like dying of it immediately. I hope I'm making sense even if you don't agree. Because maybe you have more to say on that. But that's just what I think. And I would struggle with those kinds of ideas. Are you taking the Gnostic pill? So I forget what Gnostic is. Is that someone who believes in many gods? Gnosticism is the name given to a loosely organized religious philosophical movement that flourished in the... Tell me what it is. Gnostics believe in one supreme God who created the world through multiple processes of emanation. No, I don't believe in that. Which eventually led to the creation of a flawed lesser God who created the flawed material world. See, that would make more sense in some way. Well, anyway, but no, I'm not a Gnostic, though. I just think it isn't as terrible as we perceive it. Yes, those things happen, but I think there's way more joy than we recognize. I don't know. I probably can't come to see it your way because I don't... I mean, yeah, there's a lot of joy. There's plenty of joy. But I think there's a lot more suffering than joy in the world, which I get that that's the pessimist way of viewing it, but I would love to view it your way. I'll just say, like, I'm not being stubborn for no reason. If I could, I would view it the way you do. I think that's a lot nicer. I think that's a lot happier. I'd prefer to view it that way. But I can't. I just can't, not after the things that I've heard and seen. But if I had the choice to, I would. And I hope that I'm just being silly. I hope that I'm just being a dumb pessimist who is being irrational and just thinking of the world bad because I'm just so depressed that I'm thinking of it's distorting my view of the world. But I would love it if I turned out to be wrong. That'd be great. I'd love to be wrong about this. This is one thing I'd love to be wrong about. But yeah. Alright. Next answer. Let's finally move along. Yeah, don't worry, you're not making me uncomfortable or anything. I just want to make sure that you don't think I'm, like, trying to insult you for your opinion or anything. The positive and negative impacts are of something equal. Our minds will always focus on the negative, so there's a reason for that way of thinking. That's true. That is true. But then one can argue that suffering is worse than joy is good. Some people would argue that too. But, you know, it's all kind of subjective too, because, like, how do we even define, like, how good joy is and how bad suffering is? These are very subjective things, unique to each person, so it becomes an even more difficult conversation once you acknowledge that. And so, at that point, I don't even know how to quantify it, so... Anyway, I think I've said everything that should be said. It's time to move to next answer. Alright, what time period would you travel to? Ooh, a hard one this week. Well, first off, it's really about if you want to spoil the future for yourself or revisit the past on things you missed or want to witness again. But if I had to pick, it would be the past when my father was around. Why? Because early in the week I bumped into him and kind of wished I could remember the moments we had till he left when I was 3. He's not a bad guy, and he was really young when he had me, plus he had no clue how to interact with a child who has autism, so I don't blame him for leaving, but I wish to remember the moments that were at least there before he left. Also, hi everyone in stream. I miss you all already. See you all again on Friday. This one was written by Zana, who I believe, yeah, she's on holiday right now. So she won't be here to see us answer this, but she did leave this. See, another one about seeing a family member, except this time, it's not someone who died, it's just someone who left. See. Yeah, I suppose I'm lucky that I haven't had to deal with like that. I haven't had like a parent leave or anything. I do have other family issues, but they're not to do with that. So it's not something I relate to very much. But I do know that that's something a lot of people have to deal with. It's a very common problem. Very common. But yeah, I had no clue how to interact with a child with autism. A lot of people don't know how to interact with people with autism. It's a difficult thing because, you know, I have autism too. A lot of people didn't know how to interact with me, and they interpreted my actions badly and thought I was doing bad things when I didn't mean it. Or just... And it made people dislike me and think I was difficult, but I was just doing my best. And I'm a lot better now because I've learned how to communicate, and I've learned how to behave and act in a socially acceptable way. But, you know, back then it was different. Family's one of the few aspects of my life where I don't have major problems. I'm grateful for that. I feel like most of my friends have family issues. Most people that I think people that I become friends with all seem to have something in common. So, most people I end up making friends with are gay. Most people that I make friends with have depression. And most people that I make friends with have family problems. It's not because I'm intentionally trying to look for friends like that. It's just that's how the way it's turned out. So I think I just naturally get along better with people like that. I guess those are just the people that are easiest to get along with. By the way, is the music at a good volume? Because it seems like it might be kind of quiet. Have you guys been able to hear the music fine this whole time? Yeah. You also got autism? I know. If you're watching my stream, then you have autism. You don't gotta tell me. We're all neurodivergent? Yeah. Coincidence, I guess? No, I don't think it's coincidence. I think it's to do with the fact that people who are a certain way are a certain way. I think that people with depression have certain kinds of personalities. I think that people who are gay have certain kinds of personalities, and I think people who have family problems have certain kinds of personalities. Because the things that you've experienced throughout your life tend to affect your personality, and I think I just like being around people like that. I think I just relate to those people a bit more. Maybe not to the gay things, I'm not gay. I think it's just the fact that gay people tend to have a better perspective on life. That might be why I like to be around them. But in terms of like depression and whatever, it's probably like I'm relating to them. And also like family problems and whatever. It's like they have a similar personality to me because they have similar life experiences to me. So that's important. Okay. I guess I can move on to the next response. What time period would you travel to? Early 2000s, because that's my childhood and I miss it. Also, so I can tell myself everything will be okay and to stop worrying about what others think about me, because it's not worth worrying about. This one is by Riku. Yeah, okay, so early 2000s is also my childhood, so I can relate to that. There was a lot nice about the early 2000s, and things were a bit less complicated than they are now. You might even consider it like a golden age, because it had a lot of the cool things that we have now, but without a lot of the problems we have now. it was a less politically divisive time, and it was also, we didn't have all the, COVID hadn't happened, all the freaking crazy stuff hadn't happened, we weren't on the verge of war. Things were a lot calmer. Things were a lot... They were nicer in a lot of ways. Thing is, though, I wouldn't go back to that time, because I kinda like a lot of the technology we have now. You know, we have cooler, more realistic games. We have, well, not really. I don't play the. I don't care about how realistic they are. I like that we have games that are more advanced and like have lots of stuff going on in them. I like that we have VR, all that stuff being created, lots of cool technology, and in the coming years there'll be even cooler things, maybe even like some Nerve Gear style stuff, where we straight up can like feel our senses in the game and like touch things and feel them. That would be incredible, and that might not even be that far off. So, I wouldn't do that. I like a lot of things about the early 2000s, I like the style, I like the vibe, but you can experience a lot of those things even now by going just, you know, listening to early 2000s music, maybe revisiting your Nightcore phase, if you watched Nightcore back in those days. You could go to, like, old websites, use the Wayback Machine. It's not the same as actually being there, I get that, but I wouldn't want to live there. I would maybe visit it, though. I could visit it. I just wouldn't live there. I should have clarified. I wouldn't go back and live there. I'd visit. Why not? But yeah, early 2000s. Cool, solid time. There's a lot of troubles we have now that we didn't have back then. And it is my favorite music, is a lot of it is from the early 2000s. I preferred how they did music back then. Mainstream music, at least. Okay. Next response. What time period would you travel to? Outside of the obvious answers, I would want to travel to Enoch or Noah times, as I'm pretty sure something fishy was going on in there. I would like to see a Mozart concert directed by the man himself, and I would want to go to the point in the future where humanity either reverted to the Bronze Age or started terraforming planets. This to satisfy my curiosity. But if I'm allowed to edit events actively, just go back to the Bitcoin launch and buy as much as I can. Yes! Yes, that's a good call. Bitcoin. Yeah, because Bitcoin started out being very cheap, and then the price went way up. So if you bought Bitcoin back then, you'd be rich right now. So the good call with that. But yeah, but it's interesting, Enoch or Noah times. So like, I'm assuming that's like biblical. I'm assuming you mean like people from like the Bible, like biblical times. That would be really interesting, seeing what was going on back then, and we could find out if things happened as they played out in the Old Testament. You could find out, you know. Would be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. Be interesting. Seeing Mozart is also a good call, because Mozart. Did I mention this one's written by Tedia? I don't know if I mentioned the name. This one's written by Tedia. Yeah, I forgot to mention them, it looks like. Yep. Tedia. But yes, Mozart. Yeah, that'd be really... Yeah, it'd be cool to go back and see, like, famous musicians, just famous people in general. And you see them in person, and you get to experience what it was actually like. Which is something most people will never get to do. So you'd be very lucky. Yes, that's right, it's by Tedia. Alright, well... I'll move to the next one. And what a coincidence that those two are so similar, or that you say that that was similar to yours, because the next one is yours, Toy. So you wrote similar answers according to you, and you did it at the exact same time, so that's a big coincidence. Maybe there is a higher power, you know? That's a pretty big coincidence. What? Must be fate. Alright, what time period would you travel to? Such an interesting question. I do wonder. It would be so difficult to choose. I imagine this for a visit, not to stay forever. If it were for visiting purposes, I would definitely want to go back about 4,000 years, whenever they built the pyramids. I mean, everything we modernly consider to be ancient Egypt, such as Cleopatra, pharaohs, 84 god system, etc., was 2,000 years after the pyramids. Okay, to put it in context, we are as far away from King Tut as King Tut was from the pyramids. Really? I'm just so curious. Even more interesting than that would be witnessing the Sphinx being built. Honestly, I've traveled back to before we started keeping track. I want to see the Sumerians, the oldest culture we know of. Archaeology is such a guessing game. Imagine, if our society collapsed, there would be no internet, and so many of our structures would crumble so easily. What would be left? Even if they found a living room from present day, they'd look at the TV setup and be like, this is clearly an altar for worship. Look at how all the furniture points towards one spot. Or if they found one of those tiny villages for cats we like to build, they might say, well, these cats were civilized. Just, there's too many things I'd want to see. This one, as I said, was written by Toy. Yeah, it's good that you specified for a visit, not to stay forever, because I didn't specify that in the question, but obviously what I would do would be drastically different depending on whether it's for a visit or to stay forever. Because if it's to stay forever, I actually wouldn't go anywhere. I'd stay here. I want the technology we have. I want the culture that we have. I'm attached to too many things from the present day to want to leave it behind. But I'd do plenty with visits. But also, yeah, it's a good point that we don't really know what was going on back then. And so you'd learn a lot by going there, because we've sort of guessed what their lives are like from the archaeology, but it might all be untrue. And you know, if our society collapsed, people might completely misinterpret all the stuff we have, and so we might have misinterpreted them big time. You know, maybe they had really cool technology. Maybe they had, you know, maybe they had TVs, you know? Maybe they had TVs. Probably not. I'm just pulling that out of my ass, but... that's the thing, you know, if ancient civilizations had, like, actual technology, would we even know? Like, if ancient civilizations had technology similar to us, and then they collapsed, and then they had to start over, would we even know? Would we be able to tell if it was that long away? That long ago? Who knows? But... yeah, I do wonder what people would think, looking back on our civilization. They misinterpret things. But I hope that our civilization doesn't collapse. That'd really suck. Like, if our civilization collapsed and we lost all of our technology, and we had to start over from the Stone Age. I really hope that doesn't happen. Surely that couldn't happen, right? Because almost everywhere in the world has technology now. So if one country collapses, then on the other side of the world they would still have a lot of that tech. So the entire world would need to go back at once. So maybe if it was like an all-out nuclear war, where warheads were shot everywhere at once and everything was just wiped out, then maybe, but if anywhere remained, that technology would still exist, so I don't think that would happen. It would need to be a really catastrophic event to set us back. Good news, it probably won't happen in our lifetime. Yeah, hopefully. Also drones and submarines. The Book of Enoch describes helicopter. What? Really? Drones and some... Really? That's interesting. Did they have stuff like that in those times then? Or are they just predicting things because they're freaking... They have, like, divine revelation? Well, eventually the sun will expand and consume the Earth, so we'd have to be off-planet by then. Yeah, but yeah. Then we wouldn't be, like, resetting our technology. It'd be the opposite. We'd need technology to be off the planet. I hope that we're able to expand out into space, instead of just dying on the planet. Because I feel like that's our only option. I want to be real, I don't think our planet really stands a chance. I think our population is going to get too high eventually. If nothing else. Big emphasis on the if. Like, with 8 billion of us now, that's going to keep growing, and this rate of growth is going to go up even higher. We're not all going to fit on the planet. Where is everyone going to go? And, like, you know, shit's going to happen. The freaking... You know, the planet's not going to last. And I don't think people are going to start doing anything about it, because I don't think that humanity is very smart when it comes to these things. So we need to go somewhere else. I think that's probably our only chance. Population isn't a problem, it's the division of resources. Yes, and of course, humanity does not have a good track record when it comes to being fair and equal and giving people what they need to survive and live. So I think things could go really badly if we do not get off the planet. I think the planet is gonna... Just this all shoulder to shoulder, all humans on Earth would fit in an area about the size of Texas. That's not so bad. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll all fit. It's just that more people there are, the harder it is to do the resources. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, many societies won't last. Yeah, and... You know... There's gonna be other problems. I think the world will eventually be uninhabitable. So we need to be able to get off the planet and go somewhere. I don't think that humanity has what it takes to, like, avoid incoming crises. I just don't see how they would. I mean, even in the face of, like, a lot of, like, current evidence of, like, things we need to do and stuff, they ignore it, and things keep getting worse. So, it's not really gonna work out. We need to go somewhere else. We need to start moving. Other planets. And then we can enslave aliens and start being horrible and expand our human malevolence out into the stars. How wonderful. And instead of being racist towards each other, we can just be racist towards aliens. And everything will be horrific. I don't know if aliens even live near us, though, so I'm pretty sure they don't. We would have noticed if they lived near us. If there are aliens in the universe, which there have to be, because the universe is infinite, they'd be pretty damn far away. So we might never meet them. Yeah, exactly. Humanity's gotta leave eventually. Because the planet will not be inhabitable forever. And I do not think... I just don't see how things would change, you know? Because even despite all that people are trying to do now, you know, no one really cares. Even despite people being like, yo, look, we don't, things are gonna go bad if you don't change things, or, you know, here's what the freaking stats are saying. Like, freaking, like, professionals saying that, who are, like, qualified. But then everyone's just ignoring them. And the people who do know about it don't care. I mean, I don't blame them for that, because, I'll be real, I kinda don't care. Am I gonna stop, like... Am I gonna not use a car because it creates fumes? No. Am I gonna stop eating meat because it contributes to, like, emissions in the air? No. Because why would I make such a big sacrifice for such a minuscule change? But I get that that's a bad way of thinking. Because obviously everyone else is thinking that way, and that's why no one's doing anything. But it's pretty damn hard to motivate myself to live a more restrictive lifestyle in order to, like, try to help the planet when it would make such a small difference to begin with, and why it would make such a big difference to me in my life. Because I'd be sacrificing a lot. So, like, what's the point if everyone else is not going to do it with me, you know? And, like, even if they were, like, I don't want to give up those things. Those are important to me. But it's all... Hello, Anya-chan. I'm glad that you made it. Difficult to care when Taylor Swift consumes as much as 3 millions of us in her jet, but wants us to pay the price. That is true. I think the way that I think you can definitely blame the billionaires more than anyone. Is she a billionaire? I don't think she's a billionaire. You can blame the, like, rich people more than anything, because they kind of... When they use, like, jets and things like that and whatever else, like, they're producing so much more than we do. Like, they're, as you said, as much as, like, 3 million of us. On their own. Just on their own. So I guess that's where we should be pointing the finger. I don't think ordinary people should be expected to make such big sacrifices for such a minuscule difference when there's people out there who are making such a huge difference with just one act that they don't even really need to do that badly, you know? So I just don't. So that's true. So maybe it's not really our problem. But also, it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's still... I would still say, a lot of the time when it comes to the issues of the world, I oftentimes don't care. And I've become more honest about it with myself recently, particularly, even though I always kind of knew it. And I don't even feel that bad about it anymore. It's just hard to make a difference. There's so much going wrong in the world, and, like, it's hard to change anything. Like, what can I do? If I could make a difference, if I could press a button and make things change, then I would. Heck, if I had to, like, work really hard to make a difference, I'd probably do that too. But that's not how it works. The way it works is that you work really hard to make 0.00001% of a difference. And even then, it's not guaranteed. It might not do anything. That's how change works in our world. If you're not someone in tremendous power, that is. The people in power have more control, but they're not very nice people. They don't really care. I think we should care, but I absolutely agree it's unrealistic to ask us all to make the differences. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We should care, but it's really fucking hard. Especially when it feels so helpless and it feels like you're never going to make a difference, because maybe we won't. But maybe the fact that we're thinking that way is part of the problem. Maybe if we believed we could make a difference, then maybe we would. But that's the issue. I'm not interested in doing that on my own. If it's just me, that's not going to do anything. But maybe everyone else is thinking that way. At the end of the day, I want to live a happy life. And I would love if I could make a difference. But I'm not sure if I will. That's the reality of it. It's complicated. It's also complicated of, like, answering the question of, like, how much we are obligated as individuals to dedicate our lives to making a difference, because, like, to a degree, you could argue that we should just be allowed to live our lives instead of exhausting ourselves on things to make small differences and, like, making tremendous sacrifices. But I don't know, maybe that's what we have to do. But then... you make a difference for your fans even if you're doing it for your ego? You kind of making a difference. Really? How am I making a difference? I'm just talking, I'm just yapping. Yeah, well. I suppose content creators also do have a certain power, so, you know, if I get popular enough, I can probably influence certain things. Teach people good things. The proof is in that you don't even accept donations. I will accept donations eventually, though. Just not right now. It may not be huge, but your server does bring us together. Yeah, and I'm happy about that because honestly, my server does not have the best history. A lot of like people have come along who are like toxic and like made things weird. And I've also had encounters with like fans who are weird and things like that. I feel like right now, recently, semi-recently, as of a couple months ago at least, is like the first time when I've like truly felt like my server is the way I want it to be. It's a good community and I quite like it. I feel very comfortable in it. Bringing us together and giving us community and entertaining us and making us think, it's huge to me. Well, I'm very glad, Toy. I'm glad that I can do that. Well, maybe I make a little bit of a difference. Perhaps. I guess making people happy by bringing community is... I suppose that counts. But I wish I had more control over the, like, the big things in the world, like, you know, like huge... Yeah, things like that. Like, without this, mental breakdowns would be my daily schedule? Really? Makes that much of a difference? I'm kind of surprised. Like, from my perspective, I'm just, like, sitting in front of a camera and, like, yapping. You guys are making me sound like some kind of superhero. Hello, Snake. Welcome. I'm glad you could make it to the stream. But yeah. I guess it does make a difference if you can just make people happy and create community. And I'll try to continue doing that and grow the community and expand to help more people. But I actually do. I know one thing that I want to do in terms of like content creation is that I want to also like give advice or like teach people things. I don't know how well equipped I am to do that, considering that I'm still pretty young and I don't necessarily have a lot of life experience. But I like the idea of being like a content creator who can like give advice. And I've done that a little bit from time to time. I don't do it a ton, I do it a little bit. I think, but someday I want to do that more. Maybe I need to be a more experienced person in life first, or maybe I need to... I want to, like... Here's the thing, I want to be, like, a good role model for people, because I think that there's a lot of really bad role models online. So, you know, people like Andrew Tate, for example. Not really giving... Not really being a good role model. And the reason why people flock to role models like that isn't because they have some, like, underlying urge to just be evil. It's because they don't have many role models. It's because they don't really, It's they want someone to teach them how to be better in life, how to improve themselves as people, how to get relationships, how to be competent. Because they're lost, and they're depressed, and their lives suck. And they flock to people like Andrew Tate, because they don't, know who else to go to, because he's showing up and he's being like, yeah, I'll help you. And that's why they go to him. I want to provide, like, an alternative. You know, I would like if someday I could be the kind of person that people look up to. And could... Well, people already look up to me, I guess. But what I mean is people look to me for advice. And I can actually help people fix their lives. I would really like to be that kind of person. As a content creator. I want to be a good role model. Teach me how to get puss, Exhibit A. Let's see. I wish I could advise better. See, that's another... It's like, I wish I could give advice on stuff like that. I'm too inexperienced in life. I try to stretch out what little experience I do have in life to try and give advice. Because I'm already trying to go for that whole, like, angle on YouTube where I'm, like, trying to be someone who can advise people and stuff. But there's only so much I can do with my limited life experience. But I do try to, like, do as much as I can. Yes, teach us, please. Yes. I'll teach you. I'll teach you how to live good lives. I'm gonna help everybody stop being depressed and miserable. We can fix our lives together. We can do this. We're gonna make it. I mean, without all the streamer places I go, I'd be very alone most of the time. Yeah, there's good ways to make friends. You can make a lot of friends in those communities and sometimes make friends with, like, the streamer. Alright. First, do super creative ASMR. I've been struggling to work on stuff like that. I've really been struggling. Submitted an answer. Awesome. Could always use more, because... Yeah. Alright. Next response. What time period would you travel to? To when I get a GF. If that time doesn't exist, welp, time to invest in Bernie's white body pillows. And the name is written is... I'd hope it's obvious who I am, teehee. Yes, of course this is you, unknown. Travel to the time period when you get a GF. No, you shouldn't skip your life. You should live in the moment, and then when it happens, you will have the experience and the, you know, you don't need to skip forward. You should experience your life. Hello, Kleb. Welcome to the stream. You're curious? Oh yeah, you just want to visit and see. That's fair. Like, see the two of you going out on, like, a date or something. And, like stalk yourself. Yeah. I mean, it would be tempting to look into the future. I probably wouldn't want to look into my future, because then it would mean I can't change it anymore. Possibly. But... it would be tempting as well, because I'd be curious. But I also don't want to screw myself over. If I go to the future and it turns out things are still really shit, it's like, well, fuck, now I can't avoid that. I don't want that. I just want to know if I will or not, that's all I need. Oh, man. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. A lot of people start off being... not getting relationships at first. But then eventually they figure it out. If I can't change the future and have a GF in the future, then that's great for me. Yeah, but then if it turns out you don't have one, you can't change that either, but I'm sure you'll have one. You'll have one. You gotta... you sort of need to get involved in, like, more social things and, like, make more friends and go places and meet people. Because, like, the more different people you meet, the higher the chance increases that you might meet someone who likes you and that you also like. So you kind of just need to keep doing that until the chances go up. I too also want a GF. Everybody here wants a girlfriend, it seems. Not surprising, though. Yeah, and if not, just invest in Bernie's white body pillows, lotion, and Kleenex. Real. Yep, Bernice White is the only girlfriend you're gonna need. Okay. Got a decent amount of friends currently. I almost forgot to ask, how are you doing? Doing pretty good. I'm doing better now that I've started stream. I would say before coming on to stream, I've been feeling kind of iffy today. I think the negative feels are starting to catch up to me again. I was been in like a better phase for like the past little while, but recently I'm starting to get worse. I'm starting to feel worse. I got issues in my brain. But you know, I feel better now that I'm streaming. It's a good activity. I should stream more. It'll probably help my mood, on top of just being a productive thing to do. It's awesome that I've come this far. I didn't have many, like... I haven't always had, like, a stream chat I could... Like a comfy community to get along with. Don't want to get GF because I'm gay. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. Fair enough. Hopefully you can get a boyfriend if you don't have one already then. Yeah. But in terms of... If you become huge, do you promise to remember me? I will try. I'll try to remember everyone here. I'll more easily remember people who are like around super often. I'll do my best. I don't want to forget anyone. My last message disappear? Let me switch to the live chat. I don't see any extra messages from you. Should you remember me too, so right? Yeah. Sure I will. You come around pretty frequently. I'll remember you. Exhibit, if you ever need a fan to remind you of how awesome and talented you are, just ping me on Discord. Oh, that's what you said. Imagine if I actually do that, though. I, like, ping you and I'm like, hey, Toy, I need someone to remind me of how awesome I am. Can you tell me how awesome I am? It'd be funny if I actually did that. Don't worry, I'm pretty forgettable. I was once called a background character. Man, that's not... We should all aim to be the main characters of our own stories. I swear I will. I mean, I believe you, but that would seem so, like... That'd be kind of funny of me, just being like, yeah, tell me how awesome I am, tell me. Don't worry, I know how awesome and amazing I am. I'm so cool. Yeah. But don't, Yeah, it must suck to be referred to as a background character. That would kinda hurt me. I don't want to be a background character. I want to be the main character. I want to be cool. I want to be the guy who does all the cool things. And is them, you know... I want to be the main character of this story. I don't want to be the background. I want to be the guy everyone notices in a good way. You know. We're all the background character of other people's lives, but we're the main character of our own lives, yeah. So it depends on whose perspective it's from. Toya's helped me with a bit of my confidence. Hell yeah. Toya's pretty good at raising people's confidence. She's very nice to people and gives out a lot of compliments. She very much appreciates people and showers people with appreciation. Like being the Professor X or Gandalf kind of guy. Ah, so you want to be like the mentor figure who helps like the main characters. That's also a very honorable position to be in. It's very honorable. Because you're still someone very important, but you're the ones who, like, you help the people who are, like, growing. You help them become someone. You guide them so that they can do better. Yeah, Toy, I think you're a big part of why this community is the way it is. You're like, you help people feel at home in it, and you help people like being in it. So, I very much have you to thank for helping this community be nice. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I feel like I'm more of a support character in others' lives, if not a side character. Yeah, it's better to be a supporting character than to be like a background character. Because then at the very least you're relevant and you're part of the story. That's still pretty good. I mean, we can think of plenty of shows where a lot of our favorite characters are like side characters, not main characters. Hey, so would it be cool, it would be okay if I call you my Oshi? Yes, of course. That'd be great. Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever called me their Oshi before, but that's because a lot of my viewers wouldn't know what an Oshi is necessarily. But, for those of you who don't know, in VTubing, an Oshi is like your favorite VTuber. Like your VTuber that you support more than anyone else, and you like really cheer them on and like attend everything they do and stuff. In like idol culture, Oshi is like your favorite idol that you support. Yeah, it's like it carries over from idol culture and they brought it into like VTubing. Yeah, I'm glad that you consider me your Oshi. Very cool. We got good vibes in here today. It's definitely helped my mood being here. Because I was feeling pretty iffy today. Honestly, I'm going to be feeling pretty iffy over the next week or so. Well, it's between you and Raura. Honestly, I'll take that, Tedia, because, like... Raura is in, Hololive, isn't she? Yeah, she is in Hololive, I'm remembering correctly. I mean, I'll take that, because Hololive is a big fucking deal, so if you think I match up to, like... If I'm even close to someone from Hololive, that's pretty epic. You're absolutely on my Oshi's exhibit. Hell yeah. Yeah. I haven't actually watched Raura. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Should I be... Yeah, I think it's correct. I've watched people that she's, like, collabed with, though, and I've watched others in Hololive. I liked Sares Fauna before she left. She was very cool. A very cool individual. I listen to her ASMR a lot whenever I'm sleeping. I still do, even though she's not really doing stuff anymore. Someone please tell me what an Oshi is? Were you gone whenever I was explaining it? An Oshi is, like, a word for, like, your favorite VTuber that you, like, really support. Like, you're, like, it's like a word for being, like, a super fan of a certain VTuber. At least in the context of VTubing, it's also a word in idol culture. No. Google Translate says tasty delicious. No, that's oishi, I'm pretty sure. I like Raura and Cecilia, they're very fun. And good background noise. Yeah. Yeah, Hololive is cool, filled with some cool individuals. Um, that is true, Kleb. However, I it's considered not good form to like reveal that like publicly, because I'm pretty sure Hololive has like NDAs and stuff, so Fauna isn't allowed to tell people what her alternate identity is from her Hololive one. So, and I think talking about it publicly can sometimes cause him a lot of trouble and stuff, but you can find out if you like look into it. So, it's best to not mention it too much, just in case. Like if I ever ended up collabing with Nimi, which would be really lucky, it wouldn't be good if I was on record exposing her connections, because that would maybe cause legal trouble or things like that. That'd be super. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but yeah. But yeah. I don't often go to streams that aren't small, but when I do, it's usually Kiara or Fuamoko. I love Fuamoko. They're so cute. They're so cool. They're so, like, in sync all of the time. Like, they're constantly they're constantly, like, saying the same things at the same time. Because it's amazing. They're so wonderful. Lovely, lovely demon dogs. I haven't watched them a lot recently, but they're super cool. They're probably... I think they might be my favorites from Hololive. It'd be between Fuamoko and Gargura right now. Because before it was Ceres Fauna, but she's graduated, so now it's Gura and Fuamoko would be my two favorites. I guess Fuamoko would be more. Because I haven't seen much from... I haven't kept up with Gura much recently. I really want to become a VTuber, and if I become a VTuber, I'd like to collab with you the most. Yeah, feel free, if you ever become a VTuber. I'm open to collabs, and right now, I don't do a lot of collabs, so I'm not, like, super busy. Like, I'm not too busy to, like, do collabs with, like, people who ask, so I'd probably just accept any invitation I get to a collab right now. Of course, when I'm more popular and I'm doing more collabs, then I'd probably only be able to limit it to, like, people I really want to collab with, if I'm really busy. But right now, I'm pretty down low. I can probably collab with anyone who wants it. Yeah, Fuamoko's really cool. They're always, like, accidentally saying stuff at, like, the same time. I said that already, but, like... You guys want to see it? We can, like... Let's look at that. VTubing as a male feels wrong to me, but I'd glad to collab with you if my channel had more than 7 subs. Yeah, well, I mean... I wonder why... There's no need to, like, feel... Well, I mean, you don't... Well, I mean, you don't need to become a VTuber, right? You can still do stuff as, like, a non-VTuber. But I guess the reason why it feels... I guess I can kind of understand why it feels wrong to you, because a lot of, there's not a lot of... There's not a ton of, like, popular male VTubers right now. There's not. So VTubing very much feels like a female thing. We need even more male VTubers. Yeah. Well... Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of the male VTubers right now are, like, specifically very, like, playing up the whole, like, boyfriend experience, trying to be like, hello, I'm going to whisper, like, kind of a, how do I put it? How do I explain this? They're like, trying to like play up the fan service, which I think is fine. I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I watch female VTubers who do that. Um, but well, actually, I'm not really watching any VTubers actively right now, so maybe that's not true. But I did before at least. Like, but that's just not the road that I'm going down because I want to be someone who's accessible to. I want to create content that's enjoyable for like everybody, not just the people who want like an online boyfriend thing, you know. Hmm. Yeah, I'm glad Exhibit's not a boyfriend or RP streamer because that's not for me for a variety of reasons. Yeah, exactly. It's like I do um I do boyfriend ASMR on an alternate channel, but I've made that separate from this because I want this content to appeal to to people who just want like a streamer to watch or a YouTuber to watch. If I started playing up the whole boyfriend thing, I think a lot of you would be put off. Some of you. Some of you would be cool that but some of you would be like, this isn't really my thing. I can't start talking like this all the time. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna stop. All right. We have one more response. I'm gonna do that, and then we can look at some Fuamoko, just because I think that's a fun thing to show off. What time period would you travel to? Medieval. I would enslave and conquer all of them, and if they try to rebel, I'll throw hot sauce at them. This one was by Lord Pop Tart Evil Snake. Oh my god. You would go to medieval times and enslave people and conquer them? I think I think the British Empire wants to know your location right now. You're they're very much in line with them. Damn. You'll throw hot sauce at them. I don't know if that'll work very well. They have like swords and stuff. I think swords are a bit stronger than hot sauce. Yeah, I really appreciate that exhibit. I really appreciate the exhibit atmosphere. For the longest time, I was only on your server, so I came to realize later that not everywhere is so nice. Really? Yeah, I guess that's true. Do you mean everywhere on the internet in general, or are you talking about like content creators? Because yeah, definitely other places on the internet aren't friendly. But normally I only associate with like content creators that have like nice communities. Most of them have nice communities whenever I, get involved. But I also don't get involved with that many content creator communities, so. Not hot sauce better, trust? Maybe. Yeah. Like if you get it in their eyes, I think that might be enough to I think that'd probably be better than a sword. I think that'd hurt a lot more. Other Discord servers? Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's a fair thing to say, because there's a lot of Discord servers that aren't so good. Or not even Discord servers that are outright bad. They're just, like, not friendly. Like, people won't be horrible to you, but, like, it's not all friendly and, like, loving. It's just people being, like, ordinary and kind of just... They'll be... They might be cold to you if they don't know you yet. If you're still getting to know them. But there are Discord servers where they're fucking terrible. Absolutely malicious. I'm on a couple of servers, but a lot of them are becoming way too irrational and toxic even for someone like me, so your server's a relief. Hell yeah. VTuber community in general. Ah, yeah. I've definitely heard of people having mixed experiences in the VTuber community, saying that like there's a lot of toxic VTubers who cause problems and drama and stuff. I'd like to believe that I'm pretty good at identifying cool people. I usually only tend to get close with people who are cool and good. So I'm pretty good at picking people to associate with. Oh, the music stopped. Maybe I should continue that music. Um, oh yeah, I paused it. Has it just been the same music for a long time? No. Whatever. Okay. Mona's family. Hello, welcome, Mona's family. All right. Yeah, Discord is. There's so many weird Discord servers and weird people, and like terms like Discord kitten are a thing for a reason. It's because there's weird, freaky people on the internet doing weird, freaky things. And I think being weird and freaky is fine if you do it the right way, not the wrong way. Not the wrong way. There's no music. Yeah, I brought it back. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. I muted that. Sorry, I had to mute that for a second because I was doing something that would cause a lot of noise and I forgot to unmute it. Oh, Mona, you're one of Toy's friends. Alright, well, welcome. So that's the reason I ever Discorded. Yeah, maybe, maybe that's not a good thing, because, if I'm the reason you got into Discord, oh, there's a lot of bad places on Discord. I'm gonna be the one at fault for all the things you're encountering. But, yeah, there's places. There's bad places. But there's also good places. There's nice places I've been. Nice communities. And I'm going to try my best to mainly collab with content creators who have good communities. And who are cool people. I don't want to really associate with, like, toxic, nasty people. I want to hang out with people that I like. That I want to talk to. That I enjoy talking to. And who are friendly and have good communities. Discord is my life now. I would never blame you for the bad. Well, I'm glad I introduced you to good stuff, at least. Even if some things are bad here and there. Let me test your knowledge on random crap I know. Let's see if we have anything alike. Sure. Do you know Ado? No, I have no idea what that is, or... I'm assuming that's a person? Oh yeah, you're supposed to... That's not the name you want. Well, whenever you do change your name, make sure you tell me what you've changed it to, so I'll know that you're the same person. That way, I won't forget. That's a singer. Yeah, even better that you don't know. Yeah, I have no idea who that is. Yeah. But, Discord's cool. I've done a lot of cool things through Discord. And most of my... pretty much all of my friends right now, except for, like, a couple. All the friends that I know right now are through, like, Discord. So... Because I haven't been going out much recently. And, like, as an adult, it's hard to make friends aside from, like, work. And I don't know where to... The society is not designed to make it easy for adults to make friends. It's easy to make friends as a kid. You've got school, you've got, I don't know, all sorts of, like, kid events. As an adult, it's like, you'd better hope that you can, make friends at work. Because if not, I don't know, you're kind of... If you don't like the people at work, I mean, you're kind of limited in how many people you know at work, so that doesn't work out so well. Like, at school, you've got, like, thousands of people to choose from. At work, it's like, You've got like the coworkers who like work near you and live near you and whatever, and then that's it. And so, if you don't like those people, you're screwed. You have to rely on your connections that you made when you were still in high school. And, well, God forbid you've moved somewhere else, you're not near your high school anymore, now you need to start over. How do you make new friends? It's kind of difficult. Of course there's ways to do it, but society isn't designed to make it easy. Do you like cars, especially JDMs? I am not super duper invested in like cars and stuff. I've never really looked into it. I mean, that could change someday. I've just never really looked into it much. I think in terms of cars, I just need something that will take me from point A to point B. I'm sure that's a line you've heard plenty of times. Cars are... I mean, cars are cool. They're neat items. But... I'm not the kind of person who would want to spend a lot of money on one. I think of cars as just a tool to get me somewhere. I don't care about having, like, something I can show off. I mean, they look nice, though. They look pretty. And I'm not a car expert, by any means. I wouldn't be able to name all of them. Unknown is here? Yes, Unknown is here. Right here. I've got social anxiety, and I'm really, really shy, so I'm shit at making friends, so that's why I watch VTubers. Well, I think it's good to, like, help make yourself feel less lonely and stuff. But you should definitely try to... You'd keep trying to make real friends as well. Or, like, you know... Because this is, like, a limited communication, right? But definitely consider, like, making friends with other people in the community and stuff and, like, all that. And, you know, I've made friends with people who started out as fans before as well, so... That's not off the table either. Watching a Porsche literally excites me as much as a nice butt. Really? Looking at cars is like... It activates your neurons. You know how you feel my family was always moving to there and here, never really stopping somewhere. Now they stopped, only have like 4 friends from school. Yeah, it's like... Society's not designed for adults to make friends easily. Like, in school, it's easier because you're surrounded by people. And then it's just work, and then work, it's less likely that you'll find people suited to you. And even if you do find people suited to you in work, there's a lot of limitations with work. For example, a lot of people say that you shouldn't really date someone you meet at work. Because if you date someone from work and then you break up, it makes things very difficult. Because now you're stuck working with them. And if it'll interfere with your work. They might end up getting you fired. Heck, if it's even worse if they're your superior. You know, dating your boss. But then, who do you date if you can't date people from your work? Well, friends of friends, I guess, but then you need to have a lot of friends for that. So we're so limited on the social connections that we can have. When it comes to that, it's very limited. Now, you can use dating apps, but those are a fucking disaster. I've heard so many horror stories of that. It's terrible for both genders for different reasons. You know, men can't get any dates because the women have lots of choice and they never really get picked. And then the women have lots of choice, but a lot of those choices are really crap, and so they feel like a lot of the people they end up matching with are like huge jerks. And it's like they never really... they end up never really... They have lots of options, but none of the options that they end up going with end up leading anywhere. And so dating apps are just really... They don't... They sometimes can result in a relationship, but it's not that common. So, like, where do adults even make new friends? Where do adults find potential romantic partners? There's no real good answer to that question. You very much need to go out of your way to make friends as an adult. It's like friends of friends. One thing that I'm trying to look into right now, never date a coworker? Yeah, a lot of people say that you should never do that. But then that limits you, right? Because where else do you meet people aside from work? I mean, there's the bar, but then what if you don't want to get drunk? I guess religious people have it easier because they have, like, church. But if you're not... Because if you go on and buying a rope from Amazon right now... Oh no! I'm not helping your doomer mindset right now. Oh no. One thing that I'm trying to look into right now is, like, finding events, like weekly things. Like, I've tried to look into, like, is there... They have things like book clubs and stuff. But I don't want to join that, because I'm not actually that into reading. I don't really read very much. But book clubs are an example of something social that people do. I'm trying to look into things that I can go to where I can, like, meet people that maybe happen weekly. And they have, like... They have gaming clubs, they have, like, creative writing communities where you, like, write stuff and you, like... But the issue is... I feel like my city doesn't have much of that. And the stuff that I do find, it's, like, closed, because they already have enough members. It's complicated. But once... Book club, you mean wine club? Yeah. Once I figure that out, though, I will hopefully be able to give you guys some advice on how to make friends as an adult. It's just that I haven't really figured that out yet. But once I do, once I figure out, like, all that, I'll come back with advice for you guys, and I will be a super cool mentor. Renaissance Fair? Yeah, I mean, that you can make friends at things like that. The only issue is that it's a one-time, it's like, you know, once a year thing. What I would prefer is something that I could go to every week. So that's what I'm trying to find. One thing that'd be excellent, but only for those of you who are into this, would be sports clubs, right? Sports clubs are a great way to make friends as an adult. But I'm not into sports, so that doesn't work for me, so I'm still looking. Just avoid the more nerdy stuff because it's co-opted by very narcissistic people. I guess I'll check it out and be the judge of that, I guess. I think that conventions still have a lot of cool people, I think. I haven't actually been to one, but I have lots of friends who've been to them. And they look really cool. What is this? I'm not at a point in my life where online dating interests me, but that'll likely change in a few years. Yeah, it's like, I wish I could advise you guys on how to make friends as an adult, but I'm still figuring it out. Like, outside of work and stuff, at least. But I'm sure there's a way. You know, if there's a will, there's a way. I think that you can make friends as an adult if you just go out of your way to do it. But society doesn't make it very easy. They do have... I mean, sports clubs are an example of something you can do. They're just not good for me, because I'm not sporty. But there's gotta be other things that are similar to that. There's gotta be. In conventions here, you meet the same 5 guys who are very arrogant and mock you for either disagreeing with their big brain or being ugly. Really? That's what it's like. Don't trust dating apps? Yeah, I was going over that earlier. Yeah, well... Let's hope I figure it out. Because I have plenty of friends online, and I've met up with some of them before. And so some of that has turned into, like, real life kind of stuff, even though I don't see them often. And, you know, but, I want... This is something I want to figure out, not just for myself, but I also want to, like, figure out how to advise people on this. Because I think the issue of how adults don't really know how to make friends outside of work and stuff, I think that is an issue. And I want to figure out what the solution to that is. Not only so I can utilize it myself, but also so I can advise other people. Because this would be a good thing to figure out. Because there's different events, there's like sports clubs and stuff, but what other than sports clubs do we have? Is there like a weekly thing? You sound like a guy that has 1,000 things to talk about that are cool, but you're a close person. Really? So what do you mean by that? Do you mean do you mean that like I have a lot of things to talk about, but I'm holding back because I want to keep things like a secret, or I don't want to expose certain things about myself? Is that what you mean? Because if that is what you mean, you'd be right. You'd be right, because if I was never holding back, there's so much more that I'd be able to talk about. There are things that I have to avoid talking about, because there are some things I don't want people to know about me. If I ever went on dating apps, it would just be for one-night stands. I don't think anything more than that can happen on that crap. A lot of people do just use it for that, because it's hard to really get a real connection from it, so... It's a fair mentality. Yeah, same. I know, we're so mysterious, aren't we? I'm so mysterious. I'm a man of many secrets. My brain, what if we had Adult Friend Finder? If you made an app for that, people would ruin it. And it would just be filled with horrible people. It would be ruined. Let's brainstorm. How can adults make friends? Let's figure this out together. Maybe... I remember at one point someone said, oh, you can do like a pottery club or something. And I was like, well, I'm not really into pottery. And then they're like, well, that doesn't matter. You don't really need to be into it. It's just a good way to meet people. So maybe that's one thing. Hanging out with other friends. Yeah, I mean, the most promising way seems to be to just meet friends of friends. That seems limited, though. Because you need a lot of friends to begin with to do that. What if you're someone who doesn't have many friends? What if you move to a new area and you have no friends in that area? Peachy, welcome! Welcome to the stream. Right now, Peachy, we're trying to, we're brainstorming on how, like, adults can make friends. Like, how it's easy for, like, children to make friends because the school has so many people, but as an adult, you're a lot more limited. And, like, how can adults make new friends without just making friends with friends of friends? Because, like, if you move to a new area, you can't do that and stuff. Can make friends in jail. Can sign up for pen pals if don't want crimes. Ah, that's a solid suggestion. Just go to jail. Yeah, you make a lot of friends in jail. But yeah, pen pals. That is... maybe. But then the whole point is that we want people that we can, like, see in real life as opposed to just, like, communicating by letters or messaging. Watch small streamers. I guess it's mostly online friends, though. Yeah. I think making online friends is pretty easy. You literally just go into, like, VR chat. Or, you know, go onto Discord servers. But I want to know how to, like, make real-life friends more easily. Because I think this is something we'd all benefit from knowing how to do. Like, I'd love it if I could figure this out, and then I literally, like, make my own, like, PowerPoint presentation on how to make friends as an adult, and then I can, like, help everyone. Like, I'm trying to crack the code here. I'm making this sound like some, like, really big thing. I made adult friends through getting connected in my local community with my interests. Cosplay conventions, gaming, meetups, competitions, dance exercise classes. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of that would be, some of that would be through, like, friends you already have, like, being part of, like, competitions and, like, dance stuff. That was through your friends that you already had. And I guess you can make new friends at cosplay conventions, if you're brave and you're willing to walk up to strangers. That's just it. This is a world where it's kind of awkward to just walk up to strangers. Because I think it'd be very easy to make new friends. If people were receptive to, like, talking to strangers. I don't really think that's how it works. People will kind of think you're a bit weird if you just walk up to them and just talk to them. Unless you have a conversation prepared. There are ways to do it, like you can compliment them on their outfit and then start talking about what they're wearing. If they're wearing a shirt that has, like, a particular show on it or something, you could be like, oh, I watched that show, oh, who's your favorite character? And then you can actually start talking. So actually, it is possible to make friends outside of work as an adult without having connections. If you're really brave and you can just walk up to strangers in public. But that's a mixed bag. Because, firstly, a lot of people aren't really open to it, and so it's a guessing game. If they don't want that, then you might just be bothering them. And then the other thing is that you need to have a whole conversation prepared. You don't want to not have anything to talk about, because then it feels embarrassing. You don't want awkward silence, because then it's over. And the other thing is that if you're doing that to try and, like, meet people of, like, the opposite sex, it doesn't work out very well. If you're just a guy and you walk up to a random girl in public and try to make friends with them, even if it is just to make friends, they might be like, they might think they might think things. So, you're kind of limited to... Yeah, talking to strangers randomly is it's a mixed bag. Talking to strangers is how I've gotten most of my adult friends, but I usually have to be inebriated to get over the whole talking to strangers thing. Yeah, like wanna know something, guys? It's actually one thing that is on my bucket list, something I want to accomplish before I die, is that I want to have the kind of confidence and charisma to where I can just make friends with any stranger in public. That's not something I can do right now. Not only because I'd be too nervous to go up to them, but also because even if I were confident enough to just walk up to them, it would be difficult to get them to like me. Because you need to be a pretty good conversationalist to really sell that and not just seem weird. But I would say one of my life goals is to max out my charisma stat. IRL. And be the kind of person where if I see someone in public and I think they look like a cool person, I could just walk up to them and make them like me. I want to be that kind of person. I think that'd be awesome. Something I thought of doing was maybe traveling to someplace with a tourist agency which organizes group travels and make friends with people in the group. Yeah, that is a good idea. That's a good idea. That does sound good, actually. A tourist agency which organizes group travels. Yeah. But what if you had a really cool fidget spinner? Girls like that, right? Yeah, girls love that. Our parents taught us not to talk to strangers, though? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of distrust when you're just walking up to someone in public, right? Just pretend you're doing ASMR IRL. Yeah, I'll just whisper in their ear. I'll be like, hey, hello. Welcome. Would you like to talk to me? I'm sure that'll win them over. I will make so many friends by doing that. Gosh. Yeah, I hope I can be that kind of person someday. Not gonna lie, I love weird people, or people who have quirky interests or unconventional talents or something, because it's more interesting. Hey, I also like trafficking large quantities of meth. You guys need any help? Yeah, I like that too, actually. I do that all the time. It would win me over. Maybe it wouldn't work for everyone, but that's how you filter the cool ones. And once you have a conversation, you can absolutely keep it going. So how else would you have gotten all of us? Well, see, that's the thing. Clearly, when it comes to stream, I seem to be pretty good with it. It's just about transferring that to real life. That's why I think I genuinely have the potential to be like a really charismatic person in real life. Because online, I'm pretty good with it. Especially on stream. I would say I'm less talkative when I'm in like a call with someone. Or in like a group call or something. But the skills are there. Because if I'm able to keep a conversation going like this on stream, then that must mean something. But it's about transferring that to real life. I would love if I could be this confident and charismatic in real life. That would be incredible. And maybe someday I will be, because I actually haven't been seeing people much lately. But maybe if I get more social, I can transfer those skills. Shy exhibit? Heh. I would never be shy, okay? I'm a cool, confident badass. I am always strong and capable. I would never get nervous around anything. But yeah, that's just it. Like, I want to... Clearly, I exude a lot of confidence in my streams. I want to do that in real life, too. It's on my bucket list. I want to be able to walk up to anyone. I want to see someone who's wearing, like, a cool shirt. Wearing a shirt from, like, an anime I know, or, like, a game I know, and I could just walk up to them and just make them my friend. That would be so cool. You absolutely have that potential. I see that cool confidence in your future. I'm glad that you do. I hope you're right. My confidence in text, high. My confidence in real life, lowest of the low. I wouldn't say my confidence in real life is lowest of the low, but it is very inconsistent. Sometimes it's actually very high. I've had times when I'm very confident in real life. I've had times like that. It's just not all the time. I think towards the end of my university, I was getting more confident. I was getting better with people. But now that's stopped. So, you know, because it's over, I'm finished with that. And so now I need ways to meet people again. And that's part of why I want to figure out how to make friends as an adult, because I can get back into the social scene. Like, I have a couple of friends here in the city, but it's like one. I have like one friend here in the city that I can hang out with, and he has friends too, and I can sort of talk to those people. But I want a way to make my own friends outside of those connections, because I don't have many. It's like one. So. But if I'm not going to walk up to strangers, I need like a different way. Like a weekly thing to go to. Talk like I do here with most of my IRL friends. Yeah, with like people you know. Sure, it'd be different if it was like someone you didn't know too well though. It's one of your favorite songs. Oh. Yeah, I played New Leaf for a while. Wish the world loved me like you guys do. Yeah, I think, I mean, this community has a lot of like-minded individuals, so we all get along. Real life is more complicated. You gotta find the people who you think will be cool. It's just, I don't know. I do someday want to be the kind of person who can walk up to strangers and make them like me. But one thing to get past is that, like, don't a lot of people just find that creepy? Like, what if they think that I'm... I feel like nowadays there's a lot of reason for people to, like, assume that you've got devious intentions. Or they'll roll their eyes and be like, ugh, it's another person trying to, like... If it's someone of the opposite sex, at least, they'll usually assume... They might think that you're just there to, like, pick them up or something. And, you know, it's not like they assume that without good reason, because a lot of people do that. But it makes it difficult for those of us who haven't got ulterior motives, right? Some may think you're a cult leader. I think it depends on the context. It does, it does. There's a difference between, like, walking up to a woman alone in a dark alleyway at night and, like, going up to someone at a convention who's wearing a cool outfit. But then there's contexts that are, like, a little bit in between. Because they assume picking them up is malicious in nature. They do, but a lot of the time it is, so it's like, it's kind of... Because there's a lot of nasty guys out there. And, like, there's a lot of people out there who don't take no for an answer. So, like, people who will, like, try to ask a girl for their number, and if she says no, they won't just take that, they'll, like, insult her and, like, get mean, or maybe even violent. And obviously you don't deserve to be viewed that way, if that's not your intention. But it's one of those situations where, like, nasty people have, like, ruined it for the rest of us, you know? The power to walk up and just make a friend I don't think is real for anyone. Nah, I'd win. I don't care if it's not common. I want to be the kind of person to do that. I want to. Someone just walking on the street on their daily commute probably doesn't want to talk. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna... I wouldn't aim to do it in, like, inconvenient places. Or, like, you know... Even a place like the park would be better, somewhere people aren't actively going somewhere. Yeah, park isn't a bad place. Yeah, it's gotta be an environment that's like at least slightly social. Like, if it's literally just someone walking down the street, probably not a good idea. Well, I don't know. I mean, even then it kind of depends on the location. But that's just it. It's hard to know. It's the rules change. The rules are different depending on what it is, and it's not always clearly defined. And like, I don't blame that on anyone, but it's definitely complicated. It doesn't make it easy. But there's some places where it's definitely like more of a acceptable thing to do. Like if you're... You can also talk to a person that you're sitting next to on like public transport, but then they might be bothered by it as well. So I don't know. I know some people made friends that way, right? So I don't know. I made a friend by complimenting the book they were reading in a park. Oh my god, see, that's the kind of thing I wish I could do, okay? I want to do shit like that. Oh, you gonna be leaving Haruru? Alright, see you around. Glad you could stop by. Second. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted right now. Getting a bit gloomy, to be honest. Can we watch Brain Rot? I didn't mean to make things gloomy. I'm trying to... yeah, actually, one thing... Let me just, sorry, I wasn't able to, like, pay attention to chat for a while. I'm gonna try to read up on that, and then we can maybe watch some Fuomoko. But yeah, I want to be able to do that someday, like, just compliment people in public about some, like, thing, and then make friends. That sounds awesome. But, and a fun fact, the slogan, "Just Do It," is based off of the final words of a serial killer. That's funny, actually, because, I've always... When it comes to, like, there's a lot of slogans that are like, oh, just do it, believe in yourself, do what you feel is right, follow your dreams. And all I can think is that that is only good advice if you're telling it to, like, someone who's, like, a good person. I feel like if the wrong person hears that, they'll be like, ah, yes, I'll follow my dreams, I'll go kill all these orphans, I'll bomb the orphanage. And it's like... It's not good advice for everybody, it's only good advice for some people. But people say stuff like that all the time. They're like, no, believe in yourself, follow your dreams, follow your truth. And it's like, that's only a good thing if they're the right kind of person. So it's like, I think, yeah, whatever. I don't know. That's just something I've always thought is funny. How people give that advice out indiscriminately without thinking about if it might be weird or bad. The wrong person. Alright, we're gonna switch over. This might end up being too loud at first. I'm just gonna turn down audio in case. Alright, we're moving over and watching some... We say that with the expectation that not many of us are serial killers. That's true, but you don't need to be a serial killer to still be a person who doesn't need that advice. Like, maybe you're just a toxic jerk, and you you go around thinking, oh yeah, I'm right about everything, and you mistreat people, but you don't realize it. And then people are criticizing you for it. And then you see someone say the slogan, follow your truth, or, you know, believe in yourself, follow your dreams. And then they see that, and they're like, yeah, I will do that. And then they continue doing nasty things to people, because it affirms them. It's like... It's not that I think that that's, like, bad advice to give. It kind of depends, but it's just I've always found it funny. Because it's not always... like a good... I don't know. Whatever. It's just something I thought is funny. But I am right about everything. Yeah, that's true. I'm also right about everything, so it is the right advice for me. You know? Where is it? I'm trying to look for... I can't fucking find it. Here it is. Alright, we're stopping the music. And... here we go. Okie dokie. YouTube. I want you guys to see how, I want you guys to see how neat Fuumoku is whenever they have the synced up moments. Because I was mentioning that earlier. It's very... Alright, I'm going to start off with the audio off just so I can test it. Make sure it's not too loud. Got it. Go away. I got the ads. Okay, wait. Testing this. Okay, I think that's a good volume. Okay, let's turn the audio on. Wait, no, that was on, wasn't it? Was it on already? It was on. I forgot to turn it off. Okay. That's fine. It's a good thing it wasn't too loud. Is Opera GX good? Edge has been giving me lots of problems lately. So I don't use Opera GX for all of my activities. I only use it when I'm on stream, because I want a different browser for stream and a different browser for when I'm not on stream. Just so I don't accidentally show people the nefarious things that I do on a daily basis, you know? I don't accidentally expose things, you know? Don't want to do, would never want that. That might, well, the other concern is private information. A lot of that's a big part of it. I don't accidentally expose like my accounts on different things, my Google account, all that, you know. All right. Let's go. All right, all right. That does sound fine though, right? Can you guys just tell me real quick if that sounds fine? Alright. Someone check his history? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't. Please. Not supposed to be here in Cat Watch, but using before because using data, but hello. Oh, hello, Sana. You made it after all. Kind of quiet. Okay. How do we mend that? Testing it. That might be too loud. Okay. That should be fine. I hope so. Does that sound fine? Oh, frick. I'm gonna just listen to it myself on this. I didn't have I haven't always had. You guys are gonna hear that. A stream chat I could. Let me close that. It's not easy to like freaking test all it. Okay, that sounds fine. That definitely sounds fine. Let's watch. Perfect volume? Epic. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's watch for realsies. Let's go. So you guys are going to see how in sync they are. So these two are sisters. They're like actual sisters. And they...
Make it through 1,000 rooms!
This is all organic, by the way. It's not scripted.
Violence. Extreme violence.
Yeah, none of this is scripted. This is like just how they are. It's amazing. It feels so cool to have someone that you can like sync up this well with.
Once the cage fills up, then I can attack. No, no, no. Oh.
It's so perfect.
No. Please don't be out here. No. Okay, I'm making.
Oh, hi.
Do you have a med kit?
They're such perfect demon dogs.
Wait, licorice ice cream? Yeah! Have you not had it?
That's incredible.
Eh?
How has it been?
Which part? The singing or the dancing?
Both!
It's happening.
Yeah.
No! Come on! What? 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 Sayonara! Tama-chan!
This is wondrous.
Oh, it's Dad!
So, tell me, Snake, what's your name?
Snake,
Real name?
snake.
Name means nothing on the battle.
I'll be prepared like
S3
this.
stands
Go to the
for
center.
Solid Snake Simulation.
Solid snake
It's a
simulation.
development
Sounds like a
more
tongue twister.
officially
Solid
free
snake
to
simulation.
produce
Solid snake simulation. Solid
Dude,
snake
what?
simulation.
What are they doing?
The result is
Ah.
It's unbelievable.
Okay.
Like, it seems impossible. It does not seem possible.
Kamuga Papa.
Ah, yes, correct. Excellent.
Do you want more time to draw, or do you think we
I
had
thought
enough?
it was good, yeah. Oh.
But, like, I guess it is possible if you've grown up with them and you spend all your time with them. But I guess they must, like, never spend time away from each other in real life.
She's there. She's here, and he's there. What's up? What's up? Oh, I think I'm doing a lot of damage here. I love the floor. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But
Alright, how long is this? Let me see. Okay, we can finish it.
Down the stairs, down the stairs, down the stairs, down the stairs, down the stairs. Where is the? This is it. This is it.
Do you guys...
Open, open, open.
Do you guys think you could ever be this in sync with someone?
It's locked. We can go in here too, Mokocha. Greet her.
Are they playing Resident Evil in Japanese?
Wake up early. Sleep.
No, but my sister has. She got a laceration all up her arm.
Whoa.
Bad.
Oh my gosh. Just from us. Individually.
Individually? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, change clothes, yes! Oh, I'll be here for you. It's over! It's not over yet! Have a good night, or a good day, or good morning. Just a good time.
Incredible. Yeah, so these are two of my favorite VTubers. It's weird to refer to them as two. They feel like the same like unit, but like They're among my favorites, definitely. I can desync them? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? I can desync them? They must be twin sisters? They are, they are. They like spend all their time together. In real life. And like, they just decided to do VTubing together and then they got this. They're twins. Yes, they are twins. Yeah, syncing up is really... It's cool as heck. Me and my sis used to be in sync. We thought it was funny and a curse. Friended her by walking up and talking because she was reading, looking like she didn't want to talk, and I'm like, we're the same. That's how you and Jade met. My inner fanboy's loving this. Yeah. Fumoko's very cool. Gotta go make dinner? Alright, see you around. Oh, you're probably not even still here. You know what I mean? I think I do. I think I do. I was just hoping. I was hoping that wasn't it. Alright. My sister and I could have we spent more time together. Yeah. They are a 2-for-1 deal, basically. Yeah, well, I mean... Like... I don't know. How would you date one of them? You'd have to date both of them. You'd have to marry both of them. At once. Because they can't be away from each other, right? I need to make dinner in a bit, but I'm going to take a nap first. See you guys later. Alright, see you around, Tess. Be easier in person if you're constantly around someone, I think. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, probably. 2-for-1 deal. Buy one, get one free. Yeah, two wives. But yeah, they're very cool. So that's probably everything for today. Because I've gotten through all of the answers. And there's not as much to talk about now. But yeah, 2 wives, hell yeah. There's a dude who married twins. Yeah, that's happened a couple of times. Rex Xenoblade has 3 wives, step it up. Oh. I haven't played Xenoblade. There's a lot of characters who have many partners. Yeah, no problem, Toy. So... if anyone would like to say anything, now's your chance. I will be leaving, moving on with life, going to new things. Hope you all have enjoyed. Hope I haven't made things too depressing with certain conversations. Hope you guys are able to consider this a happy experience overall. But yeah, without further ado, thank you all for being here, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.